Hey guys, Got Into Football here, back with another video. And today's video is on the Premier League score predictions for game week 15. Sorry I couldn't do game week 14 last week. I just didn't get around time to do it and I actually forgot, so sorry about that. But here are the predictions for this week that I'm managing to fit in now. We saw quite a few good results last week. And now this week we're on to a few more games. So right, let's get straight into it then guys. First game. Oh, by the way, just to start, there's no 12:30 kickoff tomorrow night. I imagine due to Chelsea playing Forest Green in the FA Cup. It's a bit of an unreasonable time for Forest Green. Those are in League One, but it's a 5-hour journey. The FA don't think again. Just having a look at which game's in Championship tomorrow. Because I'm just seeing the reason why it might not be. Sheffield United versus Burnley on Sky. That's the reason why. Usually there's a game on BT, isn't there? But so there's plenty of matches to watch tomorrow anyway. So first game is Leeds versus Bournemouth. Leeds won a massive win they got at Anfield last week, which took them out of the relegation zone up to 15th place. It was such a massive win for them, really was. And on Bournemouth's side, their form in the last 3 matches hasn't been very good, but last week they lost 3-2 to Tottenham. That's a pretty good performance, really. Bearing in mind that Tottenham are a good team and got a lot of good players this season. Very heartbreaking in the 92nd minute from Ben Tanker getting the winning goal. But one player you've got to point out here that got the 2 goals is Kiefer Moore, who they signed from from Cardiff last season. You've got to look out for this guy here. And they need to keep a close eye on him this season. He did very well last week. Scored 2 goals. So for this game overall, looking at form-wise, both teams are in good form. But if you're looking at who got the best win in the last game, I'll say Leeds. But overall, can't see much separating these 2 teams. So Leeds won, Bournemouth won. Next game now, we got Man City versus Fulham. Fulham had a fantastic start to the season in 7th place. I expected them to be relegation candidates at the end of the season, but now think about it. They had to Parker for the last 2 seasons. He brought them both down. They had a new manager, Marco Silva, bring them back up, and it looks like changing managers, and it's been a good. Scott Parker left, they didn't sack him, but I think they would have sacked him anyway. Saw Scott Parker, he gets sacked or resign, but this season, but he's not a very good Premier League manager. He's a great Championship manager, not a very good Premier League manager. The difference between Marco Silva and Marco Silva knows how to get teams up, and so does Scott Parker. The difference is Marco Silva's got Premier League experience. Parker's only a young manager. So for this game here, Man City haven't scored as many lately as they got Haaland out. I'm not using that as an excuse, but I wonder if we're back tomorrow. That'll be an interesting one. We'll soon see. Personally, I was going to go 2-0, but I am going to go 3-0 as Man City. Personally, if Haaland was back, I think they would score a few more, but you can't write off Fulham, but I just don't think they got enough to beat City here. So 3-0 Man City, Chester City. Right, next game now, I got Forest versus Brentford. Forest's form is diabolical. Well, however, 2 weeks ago, they did beat Liverpool at home though, but Liverpool aren't in great form though, are they really? They played alright in the Champions League the other night. For Troy Forest, they signed 2 full teams and nearly 2 reserve benches. So it's hard for players to get in the side. You can't really rotate the side very much because it's got that many players. They'll be queuing up with their bags at the end of the season when they leave. And all leave. Forest only got a lot of money, so they don't have any problems. But that's the trouble when Wolves got promoted, we didn't sign that many players, and we finished 7th. Quality over quantity, like they always say. So for this game, Brentford picked up a 1-1 draw against my team Wolves at the weekend. A good point for them, but really with half Wolves' form, they should have really wanted that win more really. So for this game, what's going to say a 1-1 draw? Looking at both teams' form, but which is quite similar. But I'm going to say 2-1 win to Brentford. I'll slightly edge it. I think they're a good side, Brentford. Next game now, we've got Wolves versus Brighton. Personally, I think this one can go either way, personally. But I would, for this game, Brighton have lost Graham Potter, massive loss, but they haven't started playing. They have played alright with the new manager coming in. Let me get his name up again. Roberto Di Zerbi. He's an Italian manager. Good appointment. He's done alright so far. I hope it continues for them. Sadly, I just don't think we got enough to. A good point away at Brentford last week, and I think it's a fair result. But I think it could have gone either way, personally. And Costa let us down at the end, so without him now for 3 games. Riley Jimenez is out with injury. Kalajev fits for the rest of the season. Neto's out. Torquinho's out for the rest of the season. It looks like Nunes has picked up a slight injury, so Guedes will probably have to play at top. If you're looking at our form against Brighton at home, it's dreadful. The one game in lockdown where we won, that was a lucky win as well. So we haven't got a very good record. We just haven't got a good record against Brighton. So I reckon Wolves 0, Brighton 2. But it could go either way. But with the amount of injuries we got out and lack of attacking options, I think we're going to struggle here. I just can't see us getting anything. So that's why I'm saying 2-0 Brighton. But we have got to be positive as well, though. So next game now, we've got Everton versus Leicester, the 5:30 kickoff. Personally, Leicester played alright at the last weekend against Man City and lucky to come away with nothing, and they absolutely demolished us the other week. Like, we didn't show any fight or any character to get a win. That's why we lost. And both teams are on similar forms, really. If you're looking at the last couple of games, but personally, I can't see us separating the 2 teams, so I'm going to say Everton 1, Leicester 1. Next game now, we got Chelsea versus Arsenal. You could say this is a London derby, but it is really. Arsenal are a very good side this year. They made the right decision to keep faith with Mikel Arteta. Because he's a good manager. That's why you should keep faith with all your managers, unlike Watford, who are in their own tier, and Salford, who can't. They're running out of managers, Watford are. And Salford are nearly as well. Arsenal top, Chelsea 6, and are on a great season this season. And Potter on return to his former club. He lost. But he needs time, Graham Potter, though. It's always hard to play against your former club that you've managed. He's taken the rest of his coaching team with him as well. I don't think they're going to do well this season. They'll be lucky to finish in Champions League, though. There's a lot of good teams up there this season, isn't there? Bear in mind they've got the likes of Sterling, Koulibaly this time as well. Great players like that. I can't believe where they are. I think it is kind of down to them putting Kepa in goal for a bit and putting faith in him again. And Chelsea signed good players like Aubameyang as well. And Arsenal's side, it's going to be a very tough game overall. So I can't predict a winner here, but I am going to predict a winner. So Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. Anything could change though. Because Arsenal just don't look like losing at the moment. They didn't play that well last night in the Europa League, but they knew they were going through and they're playing against and they rotating the side a bit. So all that matters is they got the win. Next game now, Aston Villa versus Man United. Aston Villa have got a new manager in Unai Emery. That's a good appointment. He didn't do too well at Arsenal, but overall he has got managerial experience. At least Villa haven't messed around and like us with a manager, because their owner, they've got Villa. They've got a lot of good players. They have, and they've got a good owner behind them. We know they're not the same since they've come down from the Premier League, and they're not the same like they were in the 80s and 90s. And Man United side, their manager has come out and said United are not scoring enough goals, but they are getting in the results. They haven't lost since the 2nd of October, and that was against Manchester City. But here's the thing: they are getting the points on the board. Is that all that matters? And they're picking them up. And they look a much improved side than last season. At the start of the season, he looked the same, and against Man City, they looked dire. I think this game could go either way here, so I'm going to say Arsenal 1, Man United 2. Next game now, we got Southampton versus Newcastle. Southampton in diabolical form, yet they're still keeping faith with Ralph Hasenhüttl. And Newcastle in the Champions League place. But with the amount of signings they've brought in, this is expected. They haven't lost since the 31st of August, and that was away. And that was away at Newcastle, where Liverpool scored in the 98th minute. It was all of that amount of added time in the last minute. They're undefeated in the last date with 5 wins and 3 draws. Not bad form. Very good form. So I can't see anything for Southampton here. So Southampton 0, Newcastle 2. Next game now. West Ham versus Palace. West Ham, they're a good side. And they're doing well in the Conference League this year. And they were lucky not to get anything at United. They haven't had the best of starts of the season, so they're trying to get the form back up now. And West Ham in table form, Man United in the top 4 for their form. So, like I said about them playing Man United the other week, and on Palace's side, mid-table, had the best of starts they wanted, but I think they got a good result against Southampton, and they're a funny side, Southampton, so Palace. So personally, I think we'll go West Ham's way, so West Ham 2, Palace 1. Next game here, we got Tottenham versus Liverpool. Liverpool haven't had a very good start to the season, and they sit in 9th place. I think Klopp has taken as far as he has, really, but I can't see him leaving because he said that Anfield is his home, and he's not going anywhere. So that's why I don't think he's going to leave. It's Tottenham, they brought in some brilliant players, and I didn't expect them to be up there. A 95th minute goal from Piri Emil Horsenberg against Marseille. But that Champions League group, by the way, Group D, could have gone either way. Any of those teams that night could have qualified. Even for the Europa League as well. And the amount of players Tottenham brought in, I think this is good for them personally. And Liverpool, they played well in the Champions League the other night, but a disappointing result at home to Leeds the other day, last week. And that's an awful loss for them. So personally, I can't see the team winning here. I can't see Liverpool. So I'll fancy Spurs to be the slight favourites to get the win, but I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. So right, that wraps up today's predictions. I hope you did all enjoy the video. So if you did enjoy it, do go like, do subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications every time I make a video, so you know which video I'm making and when it will update you when I'm bringing out the next my videos. See you all later, guys. Have a good one. I wish Sal Seals the best of luck home to Forest Green tomorrow. So see you all later, guys. Bye, everyone.